because critics on the right have noted that New York City is a sanctuary city, and this migrant crisis comes with that territory. So what do you say to those who think you relinquish your right to complain about the stresses it places on your city because of that?
Well, I think that those comments coming from those far-right Trump-like Republicans who are continue to try to distort the reality that we do not have real immigration reform.
There are so many stupid things wrong with what you just said, but let's just take them one at a time, starting with the sanctuary city thing. It doesn't take a far right-wing Trump Republican to recognize that you said one thing and now you're saying something completely different. That's not a Republican thing that somebody has to notice and recognize that you're a hypocrite. Recognizing your hypocrisy is not exclusive to far-right Trump Republicans. If Democrats actually realized what Sanctuary City meant when all of you were promising it, they wouldn't have agreed to it. But of course, so many of your voters were just so anti-Trump that they would go with anything that wasn't Trump. Anything that wasn't Trump. Whatever the opposite was, that's what most New Yorkers and Democrats vote for. Whatever the opposite is of Trump. Remember, anybody who supported closed borders and anybody who supports a wall is a racist. A racist. And now that you don't want all those people in your sanctuary city, are you then now the racist? Considering the political game that got played against Donald Trump, and that's exactly what all of this was. A political game to label Donald Trump as a racist because he didn't want open borders. And now that the open borders are a problem, it's also Donald Trump's fault and all the right-wing Trump Republicans who are noticing the fact that you made mistakes in accepting these people, and now you don't want to accept these illegal immigrants. So that's your fault, not anybody else's. That's every Democrat sanctuary city promoter. That is your fault. You did this. Nobody else.
Tonight in the heart of New York City, a few blocks from Broadway's brightest lights, people seeking asylum are crammed together, sharing what food they have and waiting, hoping they'll be able to get a bed inside the historic Roosevelt Hotel turned shelter.
A lot of the people here we've been speaking to say they have been waiting for days trying to get information about whether or not there's a bed or someplace for them to stay in this shelter here that is supposed to be for people seeking asylum. But right now, they tell us really the only information they have is what's written on this board here, this dry erase board saying that they are currently at capacity. Tickets, save your place in line, and there will be updates at 3, 6, and 9 p.m.
And it's the same political game that you just said with having no border policy, no immigration policy. We have an immigration policy. America brings in 1 million people legally a year, more than any other country in the world. And Democrats don't like that number because they want to, again, play the political game of always leveraging Republicans as bad people who just don't want colored people around. It's always the colored people that Republicans don't want around. It's this political game that villainizes anybody who doesn't support stupid Democrat policies that we know are going to come back and bite us in the ass.
We should allow a true decompression strategy, protect our borders in the right way.
You wanted the sanctuary cities, now deal with it. And stop claiming that there's no border policy, and that's why this is a problem. The border policy is super clear. It's closed to anybody illegally. You get deported if you come across illegally. They do that in Canada, and they do that to Americans who try to go to Mexico. Actually, they just throw you in jail in Mexico. So to pretend to play this game like there's just no policy and it's always the Republicans' fault that there's no policy, you're just playing political games just like the Sanctuary City trash. And now you're just mad. Thanks for watching. Later.
Check you later. Check you later.